Hello everyone. Um, yeah, I want first of all I want to introduce myself. My name is Paul. This video I'm doing it's a video about a disorder called OCD, and that is for anybody out there who might not know, it's obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessive means that when you're obsessive about certain thoughts that you can't stop thinking about. That means you're obsessed. Um, compulsive is how you react to them thoughts. It's what you do to satisfy them thoughts. Or to ease them thoughts, whatever. Um, example, like when going to bed at night time, or when going out, or when going out of the house of any time. Like if you feel that you have to go back and if you feel that you have to go back and check over and over again that you've locked the door, that's what that means, like. um, yeah, and see, unfortunately, I am one of those. Obsessive. I'm one of those OCD sufferers. So, um, let me see. I'll start off by telling you how it all started off and when it started off. Back in October 2005. See, for a while there, I was driving a minibus. I was driving kids to school and home from school, and one day I pulled in at this filling station just for a stop off, like. And next thing was, when I was reversing at the filling station, I forgot to look at my mirrors to see was there anything behind, and I ended up reversing into somebody's car, and it was only a minor accident, like. But obviously to me it was a major one. But I was okay after that day. But in the next few days following, I felt a change coming on in myself. Maybe this happened on a Monday, so I think on the Wednesday evening, when I was on my way home after doing my job, after completing my job, I was just driving home in my own car, because I was driving the bus for a bus company. And on the way home, I came across these workmen on the road that were doing work on the road. That was fine. I just continued on as normal, and I arrived home. But I found that I was only home maybe about 10 minutes. And now all of a sudden I just got this nagging thought in my head that that I thought that I have to go back. I have to that I have to drive back there and make sure that I didn't run over any of the workmen on the road, like. And so anyway, I give in to the thought and left the house again and got back into my car and drove back to that very place on the road where I met them, where I came across them workmen doing the work on the road. And I drove back to that very spot, and obviously I was looking to see, did I run them over or what. And No, so I was satisfied with that then after I had done that. But yeah, and but as the as the days went on, my uh, as the days went on, this got progressively worse. The more people I met on the road, the more I had to go back and check again. So it was getting worse and worse. And by the end of that week, by the Friday, it got so bad that I just broke down. So I did. I just literally I just literally fell to pieces, and that's it. So I did. Uh, so that was the end of that job. I was never able to go back to that job after that. So anyway, that was in October 2005, and then you see a few months, you know, for a few months I suffered like that now for a good many months. Even, and you know, it got to the point that even when I went out walking on the street, and if I met anybody on the street, you know, like if when I was walking, if I met anybody on the pavement when I was walking, you know, I would have to look back to make sure that I did not harm them in any way, you know. And this happened on a number of occasions. Same thing, I went into a shop, you know, had to, you know, like I had to make sure, I had to check to make sure that I didn't harm anyone in any way. And so, you know, and so then eventually then I got to see this counsellor. He was oh, well, yeah, I think he was a counsellor, yeah, something like that. But whatever he was or psychiatrist, maybe something like that. But he was terrific, and he got me out of that. And I think it only took about maybe 3 sessions, maybe 3 or 4 sessions, and eventually I started coming back to normal. And then one day, then I just got my confidence back, and I was able to go back out driving on my own. And then a few months after that, then I got a job in the local supermarket, and that was great for a couple of years, up until these thoughts started coming back again, and it was about when these thoughts. Now it was November 2006 when I got the job in the local supermarket. So I was out of work for over a year. So I was, and November 2006 when I started my new job in the supermarket. When I started, I was helping out in the shop, and then I was put on this supermarket I worked for. They did home delivery. They delivered groceries to people's houses for anyone that wanted it delivered to their house, like. And you see, when I first started, sometimes I was helping out in the shop when I wouldn't be helping out in the van, like with the driver. And So then maybe after about less than a year or so, I got to drive the van, and that was in about 2007, I think it was. Yeah, and that all went fine, and but then come the summer of 2009, things started to get bad for me. This thing now, this um, these excessive thoughts started coming back into my head, only they were different thoughts this time. They weren't the same thoughts as what I had before, so, but still, they were still bad. Um, I found myself, let me see, I found myself beginning to double check things again. Like when I was getting, example, like when I was getting frozen food that had to be delivered to customers out of the freezer that it would be kept in for them until it was delivered to them. When I'd have to go in and open that freezer door, I'd go in and I'd open it, get the stuff out of it, and then afterwards then I'd find myself going back, checking over and over again to make sure that I'd closed that freezer door afterwards, you know, and like I'd be constantly pushing down on it like that, and you know, and it got very distressing. It interfered with my job, so it did. You know, there was other things too. There was a fire door where I used to have to come in and out when bringing the deliveries out to the van. I used to have to use the fire door to go out to the van, like, and when I'd come back into the shop, then I'd close the fire door, but then I'd be again like the freezer. I'd be excessively checking it to make sure that it is closed, like, and like pushing against it, and you know. And as a matter of fact, one evening when I was doing it, one or two of the staff noticed me doing it, and the person that one of the staff that noticed me doing it came up to me and said to me, Paul, are you drunk? And so yeah, and no, I said, no, I'm not. I said, that's all I said. But I was quite embarrassed afterwards. So and at this stage, I didn't know what the cause of these thoughts were. I didn't know anything. I didn't know that there was any such thing as OCD at this time, and this was in the summer of 2009. So then, a little while after that, maybe a few months after that, then I went to see this doctor in a psychiatric hospital, and he had diagnosed me with OCD, and so he put me on these tablets, Prozac, and 20 milligrams, and then he sent me to this other person for CBT, and that is cognitive behavioral therapy, and I benefited quite a bit. That was quite beneficial to me, and I'd say I went to that maybe for about 10 weeks, something like that, maybe. So yeah, and then what else? Yeah, I did that for 10 weeks, as I said, and you know, like I did these, part of that like was to I was asked to expose myself to these fears, like, and which I did, and I found that quite helpful. Uh, Now, I will say that while this CBT therapy, um, and the tablets and the tablets, while they help, they, for me anyway, they helped, but they don't, they do not get rid of the OCD symptoms completely, but they do reduce them. They do reduce the symptoms by quite a lot. But what I mean is, like, from time to time, I still get a mild attack of OCD now. And you know, like, these, all of a sudden I'd be fine like for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden one day, you know, I could wake up one morning and maybe like have these thoughts floating around in my head, and maybe that could go on maybe for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And during this time, like, the thoughts would be going through my head in different cycles, like, you know, like, first of all, I'd have one thought about a certain thing, and that could last maybe for a few days, and then that would go away, and you know, then I'd get relief, and then all of a sudden, then another thought would pop into my head, you know, and you know, that's the way it goes. And sorry for saying and all the time. Sorry, I have a habit of saying that. But yeah, I also, and like, along with the OCD, I also get bouts of depression, like, where I'd be a bit down sometimes. So I would not be in the, and like, and when I'd have the depression, the worst times for me would be the morning times. But when night time comes, I find I get quite a lot of relief. So and as of lately, when this has been coming on me, like, and with the longer summer evenings, you know, I wasn't really looking forward to the longer summer evenings, because nightfall wouldn't come as quickly, you know. And yeah, so I think, yeah, OCD and depression, they seem to be linked. And as a matter of fact, I found out just there lately of possible causes of OCD. If if you've had a child, if your childhood has had a lot of negativity in it, then that can have a big then that can have a big effect, or so I heard. And in my childhood and the rest of my family's childhood, we had quite a lot of negativity, because my dad had an alcohol addiction, and he also had depression on top of that. And you know, lately there, over the past day or so, you know, I was thinking back on this, and you know, it's only now I realised that my dad might have also had OCD, because any time that he was depressed, he always got these these bad thoughts going through his head, and his mind would be racing. And you know, it sounded very similar. It sounded very similar to the symptoms that I have, because my mind, as I said, does be racing sometimes. So, you know, so now I'm not saying that now these are not definite facts, you know, but I think it does explain a lot, like, but so if there's so please rate, comment and subscribe. And if there's anybody out there that has never heard of OCD, or might be afraid to go and talk to anybody about it, and if anybody out there is going through the symptoms that I described, or maybe similar symptoms, then please go and get help, because believe me, it will be beneficial to you in the long run. As I said, please rate, comment and subscribe. Okay, and please also anybody else out there that is an OCD sufferer, then please leave comments on my page about the experiences that you do have, and the experiences you had in the past. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you. Bye.